Hello Internet, I'm Mango Thunderslice, and today I'm going to be talking about Chelsea Manning, the whistleblower, Barack Obama and his wife Michelle Obama, and the whole transgender movement, whatever have you, in America. So today, Barack Obama largely commuted the sentence of Chelsea Manning, formerly known as Bradley Manning, a high-profile whistleblower from the military. Basically, a couple years back, I forget which year exactly it was, but Bradley Manning was in the military and started seeing a lot of the really immoral, horrible things that were happening in the Middle East theater of war in Iraq. You know, he released a bunch of files to WikiLeaks, one of which was this video, horrifying video. And it's basically the U.S. military dropping a bomb on this group of people in Iraq that they, I guess, think is a group of terrorists or something, and it ends up being like reporters, and yeah, they blew up all it. So it was just really bad, and leaked a lot of other information to WikiLeaks, and that's what kind of launched WikiLeaks to kind of an international profile and made a name for Julian Assange. Is Chelsea Manning, Bradley Manning at the time was leaking these documents. And so Chelsea Manning went through the whole court-martialing thing, the whole judicial process with the military, got sentenced to a long-ass time in jail. She was going to be in jail until 2045. Sometime during her incarceration, Bradley Manning came out, I'm a transgender woman, and now it's Chelsea Manning. So in any case, the world is grateful. I am grateful for Chelsea Manning's service to humanity and leaking that information and helping the conversation coming into the surface, because it's only, just like with Edward Snowden, we have to at least know these things. I mean, here in the conspiracy world on the internet, I can find out all these things. The NSA hacking was not news to anybody who was paying attention. Before Edward Snowden, but of course, it's for the high-profile national discussion that these things matter. It's for the average person that, these revelations matter. And so, yeah, Chelsea Manning was going to be in jail until 2045, long-ass time, for just telling the truth to the people. And Obama has basically done one of the few things in his presidency that I can actually get down with and agree with, and basically she commuted her sentence. So she's going to be released from prison on May 17th of this year, which is really cool. So that's awesome. What's interesting is Julian Assange of WikiLeaks, he tweeted something like, "If Obama grants clemency to Chelsea Manning, I will allow myself to be extradited to the United States and face trial, even though the Department of Justice, is trying to, basically have me executed and tried for treason." And so, it's interesting. We'll see if Julian Assange follows through on his promise to be extradited now that Chelsea Manning is going to be granted clemency. That should be interesting. But yeah, basically, so there's been this whole transgender thing in the United States and the West in general. I was a little suspicious, to be totally honest, when Bradley Manning declared himself to be a transgender woman. I was, thinking, I don't know, what have they done to this guy while he's been locked up that, he now, I don't know. Maybe they did something to him, gave him some weird chemicals or something and made him think this, but I have no legitimate reason to believe that, thinking about it now. There are obviously a lot of people who are legitimately transgender individuals in the world, and I've got nothing against them, nothing at all. Everybody, again, they can live their life however they want, according to whatever standards they want, as long as they're not harming anybody else. Your freedom stops at the edge of my freedom. As soon as you start infringing on my freedom, then we got a problem. But nothing wrong with people being transgender. I think it has gone a little too far in certain areas. Like when kids say, I'm transgender, and they're freaking 7 years old, and their parents want to put them on, hormone therapy and, stop their puberty from happening. It's like, for Christ's sake, the studies show that most of these kids, they grow out of that phase. They don't stay transgender. They grow out of it. I mean, and shit, there was a time when I was a kid, I wanted to play with dolls. I don't consider myself transgender of any kind. I like to play jump rope in elementary school, which was a girly thing back then. But, and suffice to say, the kids, they're not so classified and polarized into the standard, masculine and feminine dichotomy, and so they play around with identity, and it's not all just black and white for them, and that's totally fine. But it's just kind of crazy when people want to just be so politically correct that the minute their child says, I'm a girl, and even though he was born as a boy, and they're like freaking 4 years old, and the parents already want to give them all these drugs to like manipulate their hormones. Like, messing around with hormones is not a smart thing, guys. The endocrine system is a finely balanced machine, this system that nature has evolved over millions of years, and it's very sensitive. So it's why I'm shady of things like various forms of birth control too. We don't know what's going to happen, the long-term manipulation of human sex hormones, but that's a whole other thing. It's interesting to see how, what's happened on Obama's watch. We didn't end the wars. We didn't legalize weed. Well, we legalized weed, but it was no thanks to Obama. And there was the Obamacare, which is a disaster, and now it's going to get repealed. But the only other thing that really happened, the only change that happened was the acceptance of first gay marriage. And then, now it's morphed into this whole transgender thing. And again, there's nothing wrong with individuals that are legitimately transgender and they want to undertake on their own dime, on their own sovereignty, to change their body to fit their internal identity. That's fine. But it's, when we start putting tampons in men's bathroom and forcing this whole transgender thing down the throats of average, middle class, conservative America, I think that's when it goes too far. The more you try and force social progress on people who aren't quite ready for it, the more you're going to have kind of a violent backlash. And, so it's just interesting to see America progress, one thing that really changes my perspective, or at least causes me to question my perspective on the whole development in the United States with the transgender thing is, so I saw this video a little while ago, and I'm pretty sure I saw, I had heard about this conspiracy theory, earlier in Obama's presidency, but it just struck me as too ridiculous back then, and now it doesn't really seem that ridiculous, especially when you look at the visual evidence, so to speak. And this is that people are saying that Michelle Obama is actually Michael Obama, and Michelle Obama is actually a man. And that sounds pretty outrageous on the surface, but seriously, I'll put a link in the description below. You start to look at, they prepare the camera angle very specially when they photograph Michelle Obama, and the way that she dresses hides these things that you otherwise notice when you see a photo of Michelle Obama straight on, not off to the side tilted, but straight on. She's got some wide shoulders. She's got some seriously wide shoulders. She's also got the hands of a man. Genetically, men have basically their ring finger is longer than their index finger, and that's a trait of people who were born genetically as men. Women, it's more curved downward. The index finger is longer. So that's a little interesting. She has an Adam's apple. I mean, it's not as protruded as mine or a normal man, but they have surgery where they can reduce that, but they can never get rid of the Adam's apple. It's not going anywhere. You were born as a man, you're always going to have that Adam's apple. So, and it's interesting, and this video goes into all these photos of Michelle Obama, analyzes the body ratios and proportions, and makes a fairly convincing case that Michelle Obama was born a man. And even going back to the Obama's wedding photos, Michelle Obama looks very masculine. Once I started to open my eyes and allow myself to see it, she looks rather mannish. And this is not racist. I'm not trying to say that Michelle, people have made some very off-color remarks about Michelle Obama looking, like this or that, and people racist, like they always are. Man, you can't say anything in this world without getting called a racist. And but so Michelle Obama, very mannish, and it makes me wonder, people have speculated a lot about Obama's identity, and it's just interesting that now at the end of his presidency, we see this whole transgender movement coming to a crescendo. And now, I take a look at the images and the conspiracy theory about Michelle Obama being a man, Michael Obama, and honestly, all of a sudden it doesn't seem so strange. One thing adding a little credence to this, story or theory, and a little bit of mystery too, is Joan Rivers, all right? So the, celebrity reporter, whatever, the old lady who just interviewed all the celebrities on entertainment, whatever that channel is, I don't watch it. But she said straight up to a reporter, it's on camera, you can see it on YouTube, she said, to a reporter, yeah, Michelle is a tranny. Michelle Obama is a tranny. We all know about it. It's okay. And so I just thought that was interesting. It's like Michelle Obama is being called a tranny by Joan Rivers. And then, a little mysteriously is shortly after that, Joan Rivers actually died. So, I don't know what happened. Joan Rivers got bumped off because she was blowing the whistle on Michelle Obama being a tranny? Who knows? And this is the thing, even if it's Michelle Obama, I got no problem with somebody being a transvestite. I think what's really interesting here is that there's this mass deception campaign that's so well thought out that basically, Michelle Obama must have a team of makeup people and hair people and dressing people to hide this fact. The First Lady normally has all those people, but it's just really interesting when you contemplate the lengths that these people go to deceive the people of the world. And it's part of this satanic cult. People don't want to hear it, but it's not just the Clintons, it's not just the Bushes, it's not just Jerry Sandusky and Jimmy Savile. It's a whole network of high-powered people that are basically, they're in satanic cults. And I wouldn't put it past the Obamas, that they're a part of it too. And it's just interesting because in the satanic world and in this whole hyper atheist world that's believes in communist ideology, they don't just believe in breaking down capitalism, they believe in breaking down all traditional identity structures, which includes the nuclear family of a mom, a dad, and kids. It includes the breakdown of even sexual identity itself. Even to be a man or woman anymore, that's binary. Oh, we were going to rebel against the binary system. And again, it's fine that people want to be whatever they want to be, but when you start forcing it down the throats of ordinary Americans, that's when we got a problem. Because again, you can't force people to change. They have to come willingly. You have to pull them. You have to draw them in with your gravity. You can't push them or they're going to push back, all right? So I got no problem if Michelle Obama is a tranny. I just think that's very interesting. And, it's a part of this whole kind of almost mind control thing that, they lie so big. If people understood how much they're lying about everything, it's simply too much for the average person to even understand. And so they choose not to believe the truth, which they call conspiracy theory. And instead, simply because they have almost no other option and they still, are mentally involved in this world, they have to just disavow such information. But seriously, I'll put the link down below. You take a look and you tell me, what do you think? Is Michelle Obama Michael Obama? Is she a man? I don't know. It looks like it to me, but I'd be curious to know what you guys think. In any case, Barack Obama pardoned Chelsea Manning. Super cool. The only other thing that Obama has really done during his presidency that I could really get down with is when he backed down from the Syrian war in 2013. I hate to give him credit for that because his administration otherwise has completely destroyed Syria, but I can at least give credit for the fact that when the American people rose up as one voice and said, "Fuck a war! We will not do this! Hell no!" that he actually listened and he backed down because he knew that basically his presidency would implode if he went against the will of the American people that brazenly. So that's what's up. Much love to Chelsea Manning. Thank you for your service to the humankind. And, that's what's up. The world is changing and all we can really do is laugh and keep our cool and just roll with the punches. But it's all good. It's a nice sunny day out here in California and I hope you guys have a great day. Cheers.